really good stuff for his empire. I got a little bit deeper to our thoughts, how we get this. And as I see during our education in the youngest years, we over-reflected by importance of being good. And this tool, moral, sometimes becomes a main thing over greatness. With such critical speech, I just want to tell you one thing. Don't reproach yourself during creation of your own life or making a huge impact. And I leave the question open. Is being great is equals to being good? Thanks.
Thank you so much, Alexander. Thought of the day. And dear guests and Toastmasters, we have one interesting and really important expert who will help us and our today's speakers to orient in time during our today's meeting. And I would like to welcome here on the stage our timer, Roman Yevgorov.
Thank you. Today I've got a good role, like ancient god. His name is Khonsu. It was Egyptian god. He could rule time and the space and universe. And today I'll be like him. I have a few simple rules. My first rule will be you should have 1 minute if I show you that sign. My second rule, if I show you yellow light, it means that you have 30 seconds left. And my third rule, it's red light. It means you should wrap up and stop speaking. And I have a special bonus for you. What? And I have a special bonus for you. If you continue to speech, I should applause you. And how can I say? And I should stop your speech immediately. That's all.
Thank you so much. So, now it's time for prepared speech. And I'd like to invite on the stage our first speaker with prepared speech with her topic, Confessions of a Jolly Dolly, and her entertaining speech, Kate Lapteva.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome on board this WorldSurfers flight. We are ready to take off. Please fasten your seatbelts and watch attentively to the safety demonstration video. Is there any...
On the bottom, to the right.
Okay, there are subtitles. to become a good flight attendant, you have to be good at, any guesses? What other qualities you should possess? Any other qualities?
Persistence.
Persistence, a good one.
Confidence.
Confidence, a very good one. How do I open the presentation here? With a PDF? Anybody knows? F5 doesn't work. Okay, so to become good cabin crew, you have to be good at lying. We lie to our passengers from the moment they step on board until they disembark. And the first phrase is, "Good morning." What a good morning. If it's 6 a.m. and we are stuck in this metal tube for 14 hours and you're just passing through me, ignoring, not even saying hello or hi back to me. Or the other one, "We'd like to welcome you on board." No, we don't. Just stay at home. Or if you need any assistance, please let us know. You better don't. But yes, we're always we're fluent in 3 languages: English, sarcasm, and profanity. These I have several questions in the audience that can help me loud. Yes, Arthur, could you please shout out with the frightening face? Shout out the question that I prepared for you.
Why are we delayed? Is it a technical issue?
Technical issue? Do I look like a mechanic? Do I? Especially not wearing this outfit and not wearing this red lipstick. Another question from the audience? Yes.
I have a connection flight to London. Will we be on time?
And the next question?
When will the stupid fog disappear?
I wish I could do miracles, but am I Nostradamus? If I could predict future, I would have been serving tea or coffee on this flight. I would have been swimming somewhere in Bahamas. But obviously this is what I think in my head. However, this is the answer that pops up in my head. However, in real life, we always say, "I'll come back with more information when I have some." Lie number 2. This is perfectly normal. Do you feel a weird smell? Or do you hear a strange sound? Or God forbid you see some white smoke in the cabin? No way, but this is perfectly normal. We will never, even if we're very, very scared, we will never accept that. We will keep on telling you, this is perfectly normal, because this is what we're trained to do in dangerous situations. Lie number 2, actually 3. We don't have any of that left. If I'm holding a tray with an apple and orange juice, and I'm passing through the aisle offering apple or orange juice, and suddenly some of you may ask, "Where is my Coke? Where is my Snickers? Where is my toothbrush? Where is my diaper where is the diaper for my child?" Sorry, maybe here, or I don't know, maybe here. If you can to stand up, walk back to the galley, my colleagues will be more than happy to serve you anything. But do the move and stand up. Lie number 2. I love my job. I sincerely do. But it's just the time frame when the passengers ask me this question. When I'm half alive after a 16-hour flight from Dubai to Sydney, plus 1 hour to wake up and get ready, plus 2 hours for the briefing and safety and security checks, plus 1 hour for boarding. It totals for 24 hours on my feet, and you're asking me whether do I love my job? However, when you can ask me that is when most of the times on my layover somewhere in Mauritius, lying on the sand beach and enjoying, I have 7 minutes of speech, enjoying the cocktails and sipping it, then you can ask me for whether I love my job or not. And the last one is, sorry. I'm not sorry. Usually we do apologize for something that we are not in control of. Like, sorry for that crappy weather that got delayed your flight. Or, I sincerely apologize for not having extra chicken for you. It is totally my fault that I didn't upload any extra chicken. Or, I am so sorry that the Spanish baggage handlers lost your bag. Or, I deeply apologize for the earthquake in the island of Bali. You see, not everything depends on us. And the moral of my story is just entertaining. You never know the other side of the story and of the life of the cabin crew. So just when you prepare, relax, enjoy, and if you do not possess a good sense of humor, then I'm sorry. Thank you.
So, dear friends, please evaluate the speech of Kate using your agenda and QR code on the slide. You have for this 1 minute. Damn it, please, time 1 minute for this. Our next speaker will perform with his speech personality assessment and insights with his project number 3, research and present. His objective is, purpose of project is to present a speech of any topic, receive feedback, and apply the feedback to a second speech. Pavel Maserov. Can you talk?
Yes. For more than 2,000 of years, people were trying to define themselves by types or categorize themselves. And it's easy when you trying to evaluate the person as tall or small or dark and bright. But what I was more interested in was the conscious awareness about my communication style and my behavior. There are plenty of different types how we can define our communication style. I went to research and found a list of different models. So I want to share one of them with you. During last 6 months, I was attending leadership program, and at the beginning of this program, we were divided. I was in a group of 50 people, and at the beginning of this program, we were divided into 4 groups. So I want to share some insights of this 6 months program. So if we take one X as domination axis, we can we can put on this axis the people, and we can find that some of them dominating more and some of them dominating less. They are easygoing. So more dominating people are usually more determined. They more result oriented. And there is good expression for them standing on his ground. Easygoing people are usually more flexible, more willing to support each other, and it's not about pros and cons. It's like both of them has pros and cons, but they have just different way to express themselves and communicate with other people. If you take second axis as formality, people might be formal and informal. Formal people like to work with some plans. Informal people prevent to use any plans or like put their list of activities to any timetable. For example, I have a friend who used to go to the same restaurant every Sunday evening during 1 year. It's very formal type of behavior. So psychologists went, they divided those people into 4 groups. So those dominating and formal people are controllers. They have controlling model of communication. Those people, it's important for them to be right in any situation. If you tell them they are wrong, it works really bad with them. For those people, it's important to save their status. If you take some top management or people working in government, they're usually controllers because they work in some formal system, and those people who achieve good results are usually dominating this. For example, when in our group, those people were asked to choose the car of their dream. They have chosen the BMW, the black long BMW. Those people who are formal but not dominating, more easygoing, they have analyzing style of communication. What is important for them is information. For example, if you tell such a person that we are going to St. Petersburg next Friday, they usually buy the tickets, round tickets. They usually book accommodation in advance, and when the last day you tell him that we are going not to St. Petersburg but to Sochi, it completely breaks their mind because they cannot understand how it's possible to change your mind in the last moment. The people who dominating and behave informal, they have promoting style. Those people are usually bright and always trying to express themselves. It's important for them when people admire them. For them it's difficult to work with plan, but they are usually super active and trying to achieve their result by doing like taking a lot of activities. And people who are not easygoing and informal are usually supporting people. What is important for them is relations. And in every team, in each situation, they care about relations between people. They trying to think about other person, and sometimes they forget about themselves. So what is important in this study is that if you belong to some of these groups, it doesn't mean that you're like in this group forever. You can, for example, if you're promoting person, you can you have something similar with supporting style, and you have something similar with controlling. But the most opposite of you is analyzing. And for those people, what is recommended to start to plan more and start to trying to achieve the results by planning, but not by taking a lot of activities. And what was the insight of my leadership program? We start with a group of 80 people, and we end up with a group of 33, and not every of our team member was able to achieve to the very end of this leadership program. But what was important, that people who get into the final stage were those people who were able to stretch themselves out of comfort zone. For example, controlling people start to support each other, and supporting people were trying to become more result-oriented. There are many different studies, and if you want to learn more, you can also go for DISC study and MBTI study. Thank you.
Thank you, Pavel, handshake. Thank you. And I'd like to ask you to evaluate Pavel's speech using our QR code, as we did with Kate's speech. If anyone needs help with this process, I can help you with this. Directly this time.
Excuse me,
Yes.
it's getting a bit hot here. Could we do something about it?
Okay.
Like open the window.
I think it's a little. Maybe start and just
The time is over.
Thank you. Will be better. So I invite here on stage our third speaker, Natalia Bakanova, with her speech "Communication Mismatches." This is her second level of fast dynamic leadership. Thank you. Just a second.
How to open this? Just a second, I need my visual aids. Yeah, so communication mismatches. And have you ever thought sometimes that understanding your communication style can improve your communication with others? Please raise your hands who thought of this sometimes. That's very well. Because me, I didn't think of this until some situations happened when I realized that there was a big mismatch between my communication style and either the person or the situation. And the first situation happened when I was a young trainee and working for an American company. And I often needed to interact with my legal colleagues about our marketing projects. And very often when I came to my legal colleague, she reacted like this. And I couldn't understand what's the problem with that. And until we went together to one training, it was devoted to effective communication. And during this training, we needed to give feedback to each other. And then she told me that every time when you approach me and start speaking about how is your mood and what are the news and so on, I'm getting very angry because I want you to come and to go straight to the problem. And the conclusion here is that I used a kind of more supportive style. I was more oriented towards relationship and started to talk about life, while she was more kind of direct style or like controlling style. She wanted to get quick results, and she didn't want this blah blah blah. She wanted to quickly talk about problems. And that was my first learning when I saw my mismatch, that my style didn't fit the person very well. And the second situation happened to me here during Toastmasters when I saw my another mismatch, but it was mismatch of to the situation. I was telling my story, which I was actually very proud of, how I found my Australian relatives, and I spent 1 year to find them. And it was a big research project for me, and I was so proud of this. But when I told this project, when I presented it, my evaluator said, okay, it was pretty nice, but you told about this event, this about personal, a very emotional and human story, like about analytical report about stock market. It was very formal and not much emotions in this. And so that was another mismatch. When I presented very personal, very emotional story, it was a really big, very big event for the family. It was a reconnection of the family. I have never met those people in my life, and it really was meaningful for me. But I presented it in a very formal way, in the presentation, black and white, bullet points, and boring charts, then I go this, and this is the timeline, how it developed, and things like that. So, those were two mismatches that made me realize that actually understanding my communication style can actually impact the communication with others, because in the Toastmasters, for those who don't know, there is a kind of pathway, and there is a kind of questionnaire that helps you to define your communication style. And based on this questionnaire, and based on many other questionnaires and trainings like Pavel presented, I am like more analytical, which means that I tend to go to details and love structure and so on. And the second is I'm more towards supportive style. I appreciate relationships, and that's why when I told you the first situation, for me it was very important to talk about life with this legal person. And here I see that now I understand my communication style, and I try to use it appropriate to the situation, and I try not to go too much into the details. And on the other hand, I try to not to speak too long about life when it is business situation, and try to better feel that moment to go to the problem rather than to just blah blah blah, what's your mood and so on. And so that's the question to you. Do you understand your communication style, and do you see how it impacts the communication with others, and do you have kind of this communication mismatches in your life? Thank you.
Again, please, dear friends.
Tea break.
No, now we need to evaluate Natalie's speech, and we will start with the most exciting part of the meeting, where anyone can test the stage and can deliver the impromptu speech. Now I'd like to invite on our stage our table topic master, Alena Dmitrieva, with table topic session.
Hello, dear friends, dear guests. I really happy to see you because I have a long break. I haven't been here for 7 months, I think. Yes, and now
Welcome back.
Thank you. So, such a nice topic we have today, May holidays, and such nice weather now. It's 20 degrees, so it's very warm and it's so exciting for me. It's very important because I feel energy now. I want you to feel that too, because I don't know, when you see the green grass and the sun shining and everything connected with spring, it's really awesome. So I will invite you to the table topics, the bravest people here, and you will take such cards and you will choose the loveliest ones. And you will share your ideas, your feelings to our audience. So who will be the first?
Newcomers, take the stage.
Okay.
No, he's the first. I
so
think.
we can
No,
yes,
no
yes,
problem.
yes. Come here.
You're
Come here.
much
What's
more
your name?
brave.
What's my name?
What's your name?
Vladimir.
Vladimir. Okay, you are the first. So please take the card. The loveliest. You're going to speak about it.
Oh no.
Can I help you?
Motorcycle. Okay, let's take motorcycle.
Okay, so.
So I have time. 1 minute, yeah?
Yes. You
Up to
have
2
1
minutes.
minute.
30 seconds.
Up to 2 minutes.
Is it has to be a common story?
Yes. Any
Whatever.
story connected with spring and this topic.
With spring also? Okay, when just maybe 1 week ago, I woke up at 5 a.m. and I found my bicycle, not found, my bicycle usually standing in my room. So I took my bicycle it was standing for winter there. I was only blowing wheels because of keeping my bicycle, and cleaning dust from it. And finally 2 weeks ago, 1 week ago, I decided to take a drive, and I know that MCK circle is good for putting my bicycle inside the train, and I could go wherever I want around Moscow. So first of all, I haven't been in subway Belkamener, so I decided to visit the station. I thought maybe it's a good place to see big stones, white stones, maybe it's some kind of another beautiful things. But when I achieved this point, I realized that it's only forest and nothing else. Do I have more time?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I'm worried now.
3 goals.
No, don't do it. Anyway, finally I escaped from this subway station. I'm not going to come back there anywhere, anytime. And when I coming back, I was coming back, one man asked me, do you know that today it's a bicycle marathon and it's going to be in 40 minutes? So I told, no, I didn't know. You can come if you return and go back to somewhere in that area. And I took my way back, almost back. And in this case, I was driving a marathon with maybe 500 or 1,000 people. And lots of cars were angry, some of them happy. They were taking videos with all people because there were lots of us. We sometimes disrupt the traffic on the Moscow roads. And on the halfway I escaped because of flowers.
Okay, so who's next? Who's next, Kami? Kami, Kami.
I will do the last one. Or the next time.
She's the loveliest part. Yes, okay, so tell us about it.
Hello everyone, I have not introduced myself yet, so I'll start by introducing myself. My name is Hanif. I come from Melbourne. I'm a member in Toastmasters clubs in Melbourne. And I was supposed to make a speech tonight, but I ended up going to the wrong place, to the American Cultural Center at the American Embassy instead of here. So I missed my opportunity to make a speech, and part of that speech was to speak with pebble in my mouth, because 2,000 years ago there was a speaker in ancient Greek called Demosthenes who used to speak by putting pebbles in his mouth so that his pronunciation could become clearer. He had speech impediment. So when you take the pebble out, your speech becomes a lot more clearer. So that was my speech about. But I wasn't able to make the speech, maybe next time. So now come to the table topics. So the new activities that I did probably today. Today I had opportunity to go to Dostoevsky's museum, apartment museum. I was so excited because he's my favorite author. I've done a speech about him in Toastmasters in Melbourne. So I was very excited to see the place where he grew up, the apartment, and the description, the rooms where he used to play, and the books he used to read, and that was really amazing experience. So that was the new activity that I've done today. So yeah, that's about it. Thank you.
Okay, so that was nice to hear. It's really a good idea to choose something and to try to speak. It's really hard. So who is next? The bravest.
I'm the bravest.
Okay. Sorry. What was your name?
Hanif.
Honey.
I need to use all this.
No,
only one.
you'll take the loveliest. And you're going to tell the story about it. Okay.
The long days. Hello everybody, my name is Nikita, and my topic is long days, and I think that this is the first days of spring, right? And we are waiting these days for a long period, especially me. I love summer, but I also love winter, but sunny winter. Unfortunately, in Russia we don't have much sun, so when summer is coming, we have the days more long, and it's for me it is the great opportunity to spend my time outside and to maybe to go somewhere to the like ocean, maybe to have a rest and so on. And this is concerning the long days of the spring, but I think another part of this, when we have a long day, for instance, in spring and summer, we can do a lot of things during these days, and we can stand up early in the morning, because in winter when we wake up, for instance, the day is dark, and it is not maybe some comfortable to wake up. It is very difficult.
But in summer, we can wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning, and it's great because when you go out from home and just go for a walk, you just realize that everybody is sleeping right now, and you are just have much energy, and the air is something relaxed, the cold, and you can feel much more energy while the air is not so hot, especially in summer. So I think maybe it's not too interesting a story, but this is, I have done my best. Thank you so much.
Okay, I want to invite the girl here. Girls, come on. So, what's your name?
Okay. My topic. Hello, everyone again. My name is Sergena, and I'm quite of practicing this pebble in the mouth that Hanif was talking about because I have braces, and usually when I have important meetings and have to talk, I usually take them off, and now I just didn't expect that I will talk, so that's it. My topic is short skirts. Maybe 2 weeks ago, I just thought that there are some things that irritate me, that I don't like. And I thought, what if I would try to do this, to do what irritates me in other people? And first thing was, I don't like when my friends post food on Instagram. And that day, I went to Depot. It's quite a new market. I went there and posted some food on Instagram. Another thing was short skirts. I don't like when girls, I don't like short skirts on some girls. It irritates me. Maybe there is a reason, but I tried it and I kind of thought that it's a good experience because it's very different from the style that I usually wear, and of course it attracts more attention, but it was not the attention I did want. So I think that this experiment was quite interesting because I thought that I can do things that irritate me, feel what people maybe feel in these situations, and now I think that I changed my mind towards these things. That's all.
Regina, I hope I don't irritate you. Short dress. So, who's next? You take the card.
My topic is romantic dates, and you know, when spring comes, it's usually, spring is always called the time of love, when people get aroused and everyone wants to find someone to share their dreams with, to go out with, and spring is always the time where most people start dating other people and set romantic dates, first dates. Actually, that's something that I'm going through right now, and I think that romantic dates is something that that all people should do, because the date is when you learn about new people and talk to them and
you get to know each other, and it should be romantic as well. There should be flowers, lots of presents. There should be sweet words. There should be a lot of attention towards each other, because you basically you show yourself and you try to build together something very important, something very stable, and this cannot be done without being romantic with people. So that's what I wanted to say. Thanks.
That was really unexpected for me. So, thank you for participating, and my time as a table topic master is over. So, thank you for attention.
Thank you. I'd like to encourage you guys to vote for the best table topic speaker. The names of our today's participants are listed here on the flow chart. Use this QR code or this link to evaluate, to vote for the best one. And in the end of the meeting, we will know who is the winner of our table topic session. So our fun part of the second part of meeting is completed, and now it is the time for the serious part, for evaluations of our today's speakers. All of our speakers today have personal evaluators, and I'd like to invite here on the stage our general evaluator, Pavel Masterov.
Hello, dear Toastmasters, dear guests. So I will start with personal evaluation section. So first, personal evaluator is Artur Tuzbekov. He was evaluating my speech.
And you after that evaluating me. Good evening, dear Toastmaster members, dear guests, dear Pavel. I will evaluate your speech. I will start with things you are good at and things you want to work on. So, in general, you have very interesting speech, and you have a personal story which you try to incorporate in your speech, and it help us to grab our attention and to remember it more. You was pretty confident on the stage, despite some nervous gestures, but in general you was, well, I think it's okay for your level 1, yeah.
Yes.
And things which you could improve. You started your speech with a good use of theme, but then in the second part, or maybe even earlier, you stayed here and you stayed here all the time. Make shadow on a screen. You have clicker, you could use it, but you stayed here and click by using that keyboard. Some things to improve about preparation, because yesterday there is no theme for your speech, and even in our agenda goal of your speech was misspelled because it was for another topic, and I was only today I was knew your topic and goal of your speech. About eye contact, you mostly watch that part of audience, but never practically see that one, and that's all. I congratulate you with finishing first level of pathways, and looking forward to your next speech.
Thank you. So second personal evaluator is Maria Kalinkina. So I'm inviting you on stage, please. And Maria evaluated
evaluating a speech of Natalia Bakanova.
Good evening, dear fellow Toastmasters and guests, dear Natalia. Let me congratulate you with your project. You did a great job, and let me thank you for the interesting topics that you shared with us. Communication mismatches. It was a match. How cool you started with the interactive with the auditory. I also enjoyed the pictures that you used during your presentation. Different socks and shoes definitely shows us the meaning of your communication mismatches. But let me recommend you for a future presentation, trying to avoid any Russian language during the presentation, including pictures. So you use the picture with the Russian language. It's better not to use Russian language because we are in an English club. But let me recommend, also I like phrases that you use during the speech, like my style didn't fit the person, there is a kind of questionnaire, and business situations don't speak about life. Let me say that in business situations it's better just to keep in silence. In addition to phrases like your English level and style at all, I really enjoy it. Some recommendations. Presentation, it is about synergy of energy. So your communication matches with the auditory and confidence. So please try to avoid any phrases and sounds like ah. And for your future presentations, I recommend you also to work more about your vocal variety and body language. But anyway, you did a great job. Let me congratulate you and thank you very much. Keep on.
So now I will evaluate the meeting overall. Our today Toastmaster of the day is Yulia Milovanova. Thank you, Yulia, for a great meeting. We started on time. Everything was perfect organized. Our table of refreshments was full of refreshments. It's really nice. You mentioned all important part of the meeting. What could be added, what could be good to add is to at the beginning of the meeting tell to the audience that we have like two parts of prepared speech and unprepared speech, and challenge the audience to participate, especially in unprepared speech. But overall it was good. We had a laptop and a screen, so all the roles was taken, almost all the roles was taken. So thank you for preparation. So as for table topic master, Alena Dmitrieva, thank you for preparation. It was really nice. I like how you choose the theme of the table topics. Spring, your appearance with colorful and flowers, everything was good. What I would also recommend you next time, you could challenge the newcomers, or not just newcomers, to participate. And for that you could mention a little bit more why it is important to participate in the section of unprepared speech. But in general, I really like your role. Thank you. As for timer, Roman Igorov, thank you for your job, for your job taken today. You were correct in timing. You haven't missed any of participants. The only one thing, it would be better to not interrupt the speaker, because someone, like when speakers presenting the speech, some of them might be nervous, and it's better to be active but not interrupt the speech. Thank you. As for that's it. Thank you for the preparation of the meeting again.
and I will give a speech to our timer Roman Igorov with your report.
As Pavel mentioned, everything was good. As my role, it was my first role here. What can I say? That everything was very good, and I understood what you said about to interruption a speaker. But sometimes it should be, because when the speaker use a lot of time, it's not good for a show. Yeah, that's all.
Are you ready to find out who is the winner of the table topic session? Let's get some noise. And the winner is our newcomer, Arjana. Woohoo! Please come on stage to receive this ribbon.
How many points did she get?
Wow. This is a serious question. Please, here you go, and congratulations. Take a look at the camera.
More than any others.
Our chief judge. Thank you very much, Arjana. And I would like to thank every one of you for coming up here and devoting your time, devoting your interest in WorldSurfers. I hope to see you next week on Tuesday in Nekrasov Library on Baumanskaya, and the next week, like after the next week, here again at this library. If you have any questions, please do approach me. I'm more than happy to answer. And the meeting is over. Let's go home. Thank you.